How you make me, how you feel me, what you thinking, how you make me, how you feel me, just as long as I am only one you ever want me, I'll be just as long as I am only one you ever want me, I'll be just as long as I am only one you ever want me, I'll be just as long as I am only one you ever want me with, what you thinking, where you going, how you make me, how you feel me, what you thinking, where you going, how you make me, how you feel me.
I've got a long list of real good reasons for all the things I've done.
Welcome to Best Denver Psychic. I'm your host, Gina, and this is my co-host and producer, Steve Alberti. How you doing, Steve?
Hey, I'm a little tired, but we're getting into it. We're getting in there. That's right. Wednesdays are a little bit of a struggle for me sometimes, but hey, we're getting through them. And I would rather be anywhere else in the world than doing the show right here with you.
Episode 19. Did you ever?
We are actually, yeah, and you know, honestly, if we count the B episode, this is really unofficially the 20th episode, but that's all right. We'll go with 19.
We'll go with 19.
That's right. We have like 12B way back
we have
a few weeks ago.
I thought 12B didn't suck.
No, it was good actually.
There's a missing 12A.
There's a missing episode
There's
on
a
the
missing
YouTube.
Episode, the best episode.
That's right. I
thought it was the best episode.
Thank you for joining us. By the way, it is the Best Denver Psychic here, right here on the Freezer Block Radio Network. So very happy to have people here and listening. And well, Gina, tell us about the show today.
Well, today we have Cami Lichtenberg, actually. Cami is a psychic and a Reiki master, I believe. We'll find out from her. And she is a Wiccan priestess.
All right.
We're going to find out. I can't wait. I'm excited about that. I'm not a witch, I guess. I don't know. Some people might consider me one, but witches don't, which is what really counts, right?
Yeah.
A witch doesn't think you're a witch.
Real
you're
witch
probably not
doesn't care.
a real witch. So.
And I wonder, and that'll be one of the questions, whether they really like to be called a witch.
Well, that is one of the questions, actually.
So, yeah.
Do they really like to be called witches?
We could be bad-mouthing her the entire time we're talking, and wouldn't even know. So.
I always liked the term hedge worker.
Well, I don't know what that means. Why?
Hedgery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know, because they do a lot with herbs and whatnot.
Oh,
I think
okay.
is the purpose. I don't know, though. We'll have to. That's one of my favorite sayings. You don't kind of get the flavor of what witchcraft is when you hear the term hedgery.
No.
You know, like running around in the hedges, beating the bushes is what they used to call it.
No.
Or which? well,
beating around the bushes.
No, not that. And it's not. No, it wasn't that one, Steve. Already we're talking about my bush. How the hell did that happen?
How did that happen?
I know, right? Okay. Oh, so we just, what can I say? It's a great bush. It hijacked the show, actually.
It's all good.
So tell us what Freezer Block's got coming on this week. I was there last week.
We had a last minute cancellation. Yeah, we did have Driven by Turmoil last week. Those guys were great. And
Rod Rivera.
And then I went out there and I checked out their show on Saturday. They did a show on Saturday. It was a
the benefit.
It was a benefit for a gal named Sherry who had passed away, and it was really good. Yeah, Herman's. Unfortunately, I had to work. I had to do another show, but until because it was an early start, it was a noon start. Right. We didn't get there till about 1 o'clock, unfortunately. So we missed Donnie Crisp and Greg.
Oh, there was
the horse was basically half of horse, but they were doing an acoustic version, which is of a few of their songs, which they've never done before. And people were saying that actually Greg Stone was actually singing melodically. So
nice.
I would have liked to have heard that, but
they're very good. And
some of the best, by the way.
Who I can't remember the name of the other. Side Effect.
And Side Effect was also there, right? And
I sure thought there was someone else.
I don't know.
I thought there was 4 bands.
There was. It was Side Effect. It was Horse. It was
Driven by Turmoil.
Driven by Turmoil, and Eloy's band. And I'm trying to remember. It's the Eloy with Steve Addison, and it's the.
I know. I don't know.
I know.
I was counting on you, man.
I'm trying to remember the name of it. I feel horrible, man. I should know it right off the top of my tongue.
No self-blame allowed on this show.
One of the nation's only Slayer tribute bands.
Really?
Out there. So yeah.
Sweet. Well, so tune in tomorrow. We don't know what we'll have on the Frieza block right now, but who knows? Yeah, well, we have my girlfriend calling in during the show. I guess she just kind of forgot that we were doing a show right now. I'm not sure. Put her on the air? Oh, Carrie, hi. How's it going?
I'm so sorry, I forgot.
Hi, Carrie.
We're doing all right. We just kind of got started about 9 minutes ago, but we're in there. And we're sorry that you couldn't be here as well. So
I wish I could, guys. I completely forgot it was a show tonight. So
that's all right.
Not the same without you.
Well,
I want to say hi to Gina and everybody.
That's right. That's our very special guest calling from work. It is Carrie. And yeah, I'll talk to you after the show, and we'll tie up some loose ends there, honey. All right. Okay. Bye.
Bye, Carrie.
All right.
Too fun.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you
I like when people call during the show and completely forget we're doing stuff. But that's all right. That's what we do. And that's the show.
We're movers and shakers.
Let's talk a little bit about our guests and what we got coming up here on our show, on your show.
Oh, yes.
It is the Best Denver Psychic, by the way.
And Cammie does all kinds of things. She has tarot, Reiki, psychic channeling, all that. So, and look what came in the mail.
Yeah, I also wanted to touch on this. It looks like a walkie-talkie, but it's not.
If you're watching on YouTube, or if you look later, I got I finally got my EMF detector. It's an electromagnetic frequency detector with a built-in night light, like a red, I don't know, I forget what they call it.
A night light?
Well, it's not a night light. It's red.
Okay.
But it's not infrared.
A built-in light, just so you can see where you're going in the dark,
just to make it look cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Just
and cool. Do I have it here? Here.
Yeah.
If you're on TV, you just got your face
flashed. Wow.
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, I was walking around last night.
Do it one more time into the camera. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's very bright. Yeah.
Wow.
It's so you can. It's so it doesn't interfere with the video camera.
My camera.
I know. Let's hope not.
No.
It's so it doesn't interfere with the videotaping when you're on a psychic investigation, and so I've been kind of checking it out. It also has a temperature sensor, so you can see cold and hot spots if it changes. So I set it up. You can see it's at 0.0 right now.
That's
so we'll see what happens.
Dean Wormer's favorite line. What? 0.0. That's right.
Yeah. So very cool. We'll see. It doesn't have any alarms though, so we can't hear it going beep 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 beep. But that would be cool. They have those. But it looked like just some big lame meter with colors, and I thought, no, we'll get something that looks
get something that works. Get something that's real.
Yeah,
right?
And it records. I mean, this was I could do like major home wiring with this thing.
Right.
It has some other thing too. If anybody's out there, they can tell me what UT is. That's the other setting that it has. But this is just, I think, I'm not sure what that is.
It says unit, and then it has an arrow. It's a lot of
study. Well,
you're going to have to really learn how to work this thing.
Well, so far I've tested it out, and it requires it does require for an actual entity to gather, to come. Sorry,
it does. You have to have a real ghost for this damn thing to work.
You don't have to have a ghost. You have to have an entity, and that's different. We can touch on that right after the break.
And real quick, I just wanted to ask before we go to this break, would you like some hip hop or would you like some rock and roll? Both local bands. But I've got Rob For Real on with Dells Makes Beats with a song called I Don't Do Much, or I have American Blackout with Hey November. And let's
do I Don't Do Much, just because I don't do much.
It's a fun song. It's a great song.
It could be our new theme song.
And it's from the Dope Game right here in Denver. Dope, of course, don't oppress positive energy.
Oh,
so,
no.
Yes.
It's the Dope Man here
We'll be
on
right
Best
back.
Denver Psychic.
That's right.
I don't do much. Yeah, you know. Smoke weed, make it big. I don't do much. You know. Dick Craig, stay up late. I don't do much. Yeah. I'm rolling spliffs, kicking with a chick. I don't do much. I'm just trying to express these dreams, cause I don't do much. I did this shit to be hip-hop, so fuck the quotes and supports. I did this shit to kill it, keep your faith and love, keep your respect and hate. See, that's how you know what your niggas do is break. Preach wars like Trojan horses, leave your brain split like forces with no choice. If you think it's dope now, just wait until the beat drops and my voice drops out. Fuck out, the lights turn out. And I don't give a fuck about your bitches or your pal. I don't care if you don't like this shit. I made this shit by myself with my niggas smoking a split. And then the bitches came over with the food. They know they getting plugged, so you know it's all good. I told y'all niggas, I don't even do much. So if you wanna talk shit, meet me later for fun. I don't do much. You know, smoke weed, make it big. I don't do much. You know, Dick Craig, stay up late. I don't do much. Me, I'm rolling spliffs, kicking with a chick. I don't do much. You know, I'm just trying to express the dreams. I don't do much.
I don't do too much, but food and fuck with a cutie who got a booty and like to do that stuff. I'm not a player, I just crush a lot. Get lunch in the spot and bustin' a twat like a burner or glock. I murder MCs over dirty ass beats. Flirt with a herd of freaks, you know birds and bees. You never heard of me, they rap infantry. You're serving fiends, 16, like Burger King. Emergency, with every verse I breathe. I don't do much, but joke around and pop pills like he. Ledger, better than you ever been. Clever like you never is, no matter how deep you bet I'm better than. And yeah, I don't do much. I make a beat, ride a rap, and it hits like a punch. My eyes, what's up? My eyes look shut. When you see me, cause I'm keeping on the fire, cause I don't do much.
You know, smoke weed, make it big. I don't do much. You know, Dick Craig, stay up late. I don't do much. Me, I'm rolling spliffs, kicking with a chick. I don't do much. You know, I'm just trying to progress these dreams, cause I don't do much.
It's 6:42 p.m. Time for Steve Plotto and his son Dylan to do the dishes. They talk about everything from the yuckiness of girls to the awesomeness of his soccer team. Sometimes they don't talk at all. Then, hey, the dreaded splash fight. It's Dad O'Clock, and it's the best time of the day because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You're tuned in to the Freedom Block Network. Thank you for joining us. Free speech, it's all right.
Hi, this is Gina. Join me for Best Denver Psychic at 8 o'clock on Wednesdays with my producer, Steve Valverde, here on the Freeza Block Radio Network. I'm a clinical forensic hypnotist, a psychic medium, and a spaz with no filter. Welcome back to Best Denver Psychic.
Yes.
That was a great song. I love that.
You like that?
I want to hear that.
I don't do
put
much.
Put that on the rotation.
That's right. Yeah, that's
we gotta rotate it.
That's my man. Dells makes beats. He's the one who started it off. He's the one that sounds kind of like Shock G from Digital Underground. You remember that?
Oh, I don't know. Probably not.
That's right. My nose is big like a pickle. You know, you don't remember that? No, I'm sure you would. I'm sure you would as soon as you heard it.
I'm sure it was when I was listening to Frank Zappa Under the Bridge.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, no. This is
after that.
Way
I was
after
in the Marine
that.
Corps probably.
Yeah, probably
during that period.
Yeah. Late
Some
80s,
of us
whatever.
spent time away.
And then, of course, my man Rob For Real, one of the the top members of the dope game. That is Don't Oppress Positive Energy.
I love it.
That's right. Indeed.
I love it.
So,
He needs to be our house band.
Rob for real.
Yeah.
Rob for real.
For real.
That's right. Anyway, so right on back to the show, man. Welcome on back in.
Yeah.
What's going on there, Gina?
Oh, we're just getting ready to talk to Cammie here. You know, I don't know really anything about witchcraft. I hope that doesn't surprise you. Do you think because I'm a psychic, I'm a witch? No,
we've been learning. We've been trying to, we've definitely been doing our best to try to learn a few things about witches, Wicca, Wiccan, alternate, I guess, spirituality and things like that people, to me, and I'm going to just say this is to myself, I think that spirituality is something that's within you. I don't believe in, I'm not a real advocate. I'm not saying I don't believe in it because it's actually there, but I'm not a real advocate of organized religion and religions like churches and stuff like that when it comes to like Catholicism and any of the Christian religions, because you got to give money.
Right, you can't afford to be a member.
And really the thing is at the end of the day, it's really just basically a company, and a form of control, indeed. And if you don't, I think most people, if they believe in whoever they believe in, whether it's Jesus Christ, Allah, Buddha, whatever it is, man, it should be their own personal thing. But it's just that's just my opinion. And
what'd you grow up as?
I grew up in an Eloise-based Catholic family.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we were Catholic, but we didn't really, there wasn't like a lot of practice. I went through the catechism.
Oh, then you're totally Catholic.
All that. Well,
did you get
but
confirmed in the whole thing?
Yeah, I did.
Dude, if they start calling a roll call in Catholic Church, you are in it, babe.
Yeah, well, like what I said, what did I say?
They will recognize you.
I guess so. I'm not recognizing back, but that's the deal,
How interesting.
And it was interesting because the Pope was in town, he was in the country, I guess, last week. And man, I tell you what a show they put on for him, man. And, I honestly, I'm not one of the ones that, I don't, I guess I boggled, my mind is boggled by the people that follow, I suppose. And really, and that really don't, I guess, kind of get what the Catholic religion, what they're representing. I guess I don't know. It's hard for me to say without being polarizing, but they've paid out billions of dollars in settlements for child molestation.
Well, I have to say, anybody who feels polarized by that issue is probably not going to like this show.
Yeah, well, so that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's not, to me, it's like, and after knowing all this stuff, and I hate to be that guy, but I try to be more of a realist. Is I'm looking at this, I'm looking at this is like a huge pedophile ring. And everybody's like, oh yeah, let me get my kids up there so they can kiss the head pedophile. I'm sorry, but that's what I'm seeing. But hey, that's a horrible thing to say. But the thing is,
entitled to your feelings.
I am entitled to my feelings, and I feel that if they wouldn't have paid, if there wouldn't been proof of them paying out billions, and I mean billions of dollars in settlements for these types of things, and of course, and the funny thing about it is people that are very Catholic or whatever, they like to just turn the other cheek. They just like to say, well. I guess that, that's like a bad mark on the record, but everything else is good.
Right.
But everything else is all right. So if that's okay, that's okay. It's like, well, I don't think that's okay. I don't think it's not supposed to be that way. I don't know.
Did you ever have
I'm going off on this rant about it.
Oh, well, that's what the show is all about. So
yeah,
it's a platform. Have you ever had a really bad religious experience?
No, I haven't. I was never I wasn't a choir boy. I wasn't deep into the Catholic. Like I said, we were very fringe.
But after that, even after that, you never had as an adult a weird religious experience? Like where you went into a crazy church, or you heard something on TV that changed your life, or you called the 700 Club.
No.
You got all hot and bothered over Tammy Faye Baker.
No,
you're not turned on by Tammy Faye.
I did like the pancake makeup. She did have a little bit of a slutty look to her, didn't she?
Yeah, it was too much.
I don't know. It was too much.
it was too much.
Oh man, I can't believe we're even talking about that. But there you go. I mean, you know, I mean, that's the shadier side of it. But, you know, again, organized religion, money, power, control, it's all the same thing. And unfortunately, I think, you know, folks should just leave it to themselves to have whatever kind of spirituality they have. Leave it to themselves. I don't understand why, you know, we have to have guys from, you know, the church or whatever, the Jehovah's Witness, whatever they are, you know, coming to the door. We need to convert you. Why? Don't you want to be up there by yourselves and the people that you like? Why do you want me to be in there?
Where it's perfect,
you know?
just like you like it?
Exactly. Why do you want me to be in there? I don't necessarily want to be in there. You know, I don't believe in it in the first place, so leave, you know, and they're going to sit there and try to make me believe something that I'm not going to want to believe into, you know. It's a tough deal, man. Religion, spirituality, it's very polarizing.
Are you rude when they come to the door?
If they come repeatedly over and over again after I've asked them not to come, yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Do they do that? I mean,
no, we don't have that problem here, fortunately. But I've seen it. I've seen guys.
We had a kid kept coming to our house. My daughter is very attractive.
No, there you go.
And they had her name, and she kept taking literature from them. And I was like, dude, don't take any more printed material from those people because it puts us on a list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's one interesting thing when we talk to Cammie that you'll find interesting about witchcraft is that they have a specific thing about solitary practitioners. Like there's a specific thing where you don't, you know, it's a methodology. I don't know. We're going to find out from Cammie. And be sure and catch Steve's new season on Freeze a Block Radio Network. The Hockey Snob.
That's
Brennan,
right.
A whole new season, Tuesdays at 4.
That's right. We renewed the season just yesterday. We just put that out. This last episode will not be on the YouTube channel, but the next episodes and episodes from there on will be on the YouTube channel right here, broadcasting live from the Freeze a Block studio. So, and
you're on the Chocolate Drop too at Raz Radio. Hi, Wayne.
It's razradio.com.
Razradio.com.
Yeah,
no, sorry.
That's all right. And yeah, that show is called The Chocolate Drop, and you could join me and Wayne on Saturdays at 11 o'clock Mountain Time.
And then you have your show.
Well, wait a minute. Let me promo what we got going on the Chocolate Drop.
Oh, yes, guests.
And check it out. Yeah, we do have guests coming right on in here to the Freezer Block Studios. We have YJ and Norm Neese, and I guess it's Norm Neesey, like he likes to be called. And these guys are definitely local hip-hop rappers from the north side or around the North Glen area. And I've interviewed YJ before. He's got quite a list of music out there. Check him out, YJ at I don't know, I guess YJ.com or something like that. And it's
11 Mountain, 1 Eastern time. Yes?
That's right. Sweet. Exactly. And yes. And,
I remembered.
That's right. And Wayne just loves your show. He loves
Wayne.
this show. He's always reminding me to promote that show on this show and this show on that show. So
it's a wonderful world.
So many shows. So many shows to do. I can't even believe it.
And, of course, Mile High Underground tomorrow at 5. Can't miss that.
Right. Tomorrow, we, like I said, I had a guest cancellation, so it's just going to be kind of an up for grabs music
it's a montage
show. Yeah. I might have some live stuff that folks have been playing.
Hey, who knows?
I think I might do a little bit of that tomorrow.
Can't you do a man on the street on the corner there asking people what their favorite bands are?
They wouldn't. Yeah, I guess I could do that, Gina. That wouldn't really be conducive to the show, but I guess I could do it.
We could just go.
Whatever.
Just go in a whole new direction.
You know, so somebody could say, "Yeah, I like Van Halen." Oh, good. We don't play Van Halen here.
Local music, you silly goose.
Yeah. Then they would say, "I don't know any local bands." And then then we go on the spiel. One thing I did notice this week that we have that's really cool. We have the Periscope app. And of course, we've been using the Periscope app here, and of course, not too much avail, but that's kind of my fault. But however,
killed the Periscope
it's a very distracting application. But I'm telling you what, I have discovered 5 unsigned bands. 5 out of just everywhere in the country on Periscope.
Only
guys.
5?
Yeah. Well, hey, I mean, there's a lot of crap on there too.
Well,
there's a lot of, a lot of girls. A lot of girls doing the right up to the selfie thing and going, "Hi, oh yeah, I'm bored. No, I'm not going to open boobs. No, I'm not showing boobs. No."
Seriously?
Oh, you know what? Every time that there's any single woman ever talking on there, there's like probably 100 dirty, gummed up Middle Eastern guys because you could tell they're Middle Eastern because they don't spell, they don't say, "Would you please show us your boobs? Would you please show us your breasts?" It's open boobs, open boobs. And I love it. And then the girls are like, "What?" If you check any Periscope app and you're ever watching a woman on there just talking about whatever,
oh my God,
just wait 10 seconds.
Steve, that is
open
too funny.
boobs in the comments every time.
That is too funny.
And a lot of times they don't spell boobs right, so they say Bob. Open
right.
Bob.
Open
Open
Bobs.
Bobs.
Oh man.
Yeah. So unfortunately, you know, a lot of people are trying to drag that down, but you know, I'm doing my best to stay away from that kind of. I like to make fun of it actually because I'm like, really, close Bob, you know.
Yeah, too Bobby.
Yeah. Learn how to speak. Let's let her
Too
how to
much.
write down a little bit of English, guys,
Too
before we
much.
ask for open boobs.
Yeah. Takes more than just the request, my friend.
That's right.
Got to get some game on.
But like I said, I have discovered a few hip hop bands and a couple of rock bands, and it's really a kind of a cool thing. One of the times I discovered a band, they were just guys that were driving, you know, and I'll just like flip through the world thing and just kind of just click on and see what's going on. And these guys started talking about their band and blah blah blah, and because they were just on the road going from one show to another, you know, basically. And we got to talking a little bit. I found out what the name the band is. I clicked on their link, you know, not their link, but I clicked on their website, and they actually have videos and all this kind of stuff. Local bands out of, you know, the Northwest, guys out of Texas. So it was pretty cool. So it's been interesting stuff on that, on the Periscope. Yeah, something besides sex and open boobs. So, you know.
Right. I didn't know there was something else, but of course singing.
Yeah.
Singing about boobs is also good. You're not actually opening them, you're singing about them apparently. Which is not bad. Boobs are a good subject.
Yes, they are.
Keeps everybody happy.
Indeed. So
even babies.
That's right. Wow, man, we've almost run down a half hour of time just bullshitting.
Oh, we need to call Tammy too. All right, well, let's do it after this break, shall we?
That's right. We're going to go right into another song. One of my favorites, Mr. Burns from the Heist Click Music Collective, and these guys are kind of an East Coast bunch of deal, but Heist Click, my man, Mr. Burns. Shouts out to Mr. Burns and to Frank Castle. So this is it. This one's called Last Stand.
All right, Best Denver Psychic.
You ain't another line I'm trying to feed you. Understand and see it. You made me a believer, turn me to a true seeker. I see the truth in us, and I knew you by my side. If this world goes bust, we move past the lust, but you still look the same. Your beauty, your bitch, and you changed my whole game. Every day you've been a flame, I know that will never change. You help me dig out when all the sea is pain. And when I feel drained, you recharge my cells. You're strong on your own, cause I'm stubborn as hell. You pick me up when I fail, something that I can't repeat. All I do is drop tracks like I'm a DJ. Thank God every day that you found your way to me. You're my honeycomb and I'm the killer bee. I change like the seasons, my thoughts wild and free. If I only had 1,000 words, all I need is 3. You're my rock on this island of despair. Look at a situation and think it isn't fair. But you help me find the good. Show me how I'm misunderstood. And keep stepping forward like you know it should. You keep this man strong when no one else would. And keep this man building just like a piece of wood. I would love to express it only if I could. But you understand that too. Survivors how you stood. Yeah, it's amazing sometimes to get me stargaze and bring me back down to the plans that we're laying. Hustle hard on your own. On the phone and at home. Most of what I got is good to keep me in the zone. It's like I'm living a dream with you with my team. Hold each other down through all these other schemes. You're a gift from God to me, that's what it seems. Just for me, I'm trying to show you what that means.
Hey, America, we need to have a little talk. We've got a lot of food in this country. We've got so much food that we can't eat it all. So how are 17 million kids in America struggling with hunger? That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks gathers surplus food and gets it to hungry kids who need it. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Since we're dealing with professed Satanists, which is often practiced by younger males, we may be looking for teenagers. Heavy metal music is often associated with Satanism, and these kids and their leader may reflect that in their look.
Most likely, there will be sex, drugs, and alcohol.
And welcome back to Best Denver Psychic. I'm your host, Gina, clinical forensic hypnotist and a psychic medium. And Steve Alveri here, host of the breakout hit, Freeze a Block.
I love how you say that.
100 Mile High Underground.
Breakout hit.
A breakout hit. That's what it is.
All right. Okay.
It's a hit. I love the show. I even go.
Yeah, actually, man, as a matter of fact, Gina did join us
kick-ass,
last week when we had the guys from Side Effect on in there. And
so if you're there, what's the name of that location where it is? It's like a big...
It's Belmar. It's called Belmar.
So if you get down to Belmar, it's right on the corner of Upham and... I forget what the other one is. But anyway, milehighunderground.com. Check it out. Come down and see the show. And on the phone here, we have Cami Lichtenberg. Cami does spiritual mentoring, tarot, Reiki, psychic channeling. And you're a Wiccan priestess. Is that right, Cami?
That is correct, Gina.
I'm so impressed. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing really well.
Up all the way?
Good night to be out and about. So yeah, I am a second-degree initiated Wiccan.
Oh, hang on, Cami, can you turn the volume on your phone all the way up?
Or could talk a little bit louder.
Or talk just a little bit louder.
Okay, is that better?
Much
perfect.
Better. Okay. Well, I'm a second-degree Wiccan high priestess.
And I mean, I'm not even sure I know what that means, Cami. How do you get? Well, first of all, like, let's just start at the beginning for those of us or our viewers as well that don't know what is it exactly what's the Wiccan belief system? And do you mind being called witch? Steve and I were wondering about that. Is that like it's still a politically correct term? Is that? Well, I mean, I don't know.
Well, there are some Wiccans who have not claimed the term witch. So it just like in society now, when you meet someone and it's polite to ask them what pronouns they use, it doesn't hurt if you're not sure to look at someone and ask them, are you Wiccan? Are you pagan? Are you a witch? How do you like to be addressed? What do you like? What terms do you like to be used? What do you like to be called? Most people are very open to that, and it's becoming very common in our society. I identify as a witch, as does my husband Will. He's been on with you guys here in the past.
Yes, we love Will.
And and we reclaimed that term. We embrace it. Now, the one thing is that witches, that is not a gender-specific term. So the men are witches as well as the women. So if you've watched Bewitched, there was the term warlock. That's not an appropriate term.
Well, let's talk about that term warlock. And like you said,
Okay.
Bewitched. That's where I would have heard it. And of course, as being a kid and watching shows like that, and I guess being indoctrinated like that,
By Bewitched.
I would, I that's how I kind of determined. Oh well, the females are witches and the males are warlocks. Now, obviously, that's not the case, right? So go ahead and break that down for us.
Correct. Well, it's well. First of all, I grew up on Bewitched myself. I wanted to grow up to be Endora. I've done my darndest. I've yet to actually manage to teleport anywhere, but I'm still working on it.
Boy, wouldn't that be the bomb?
That would be the bomb.
Love that.
And wouldn't it be awesome if you could just twitch your nose and the whole house would clean? I mean, that would be just amazing too. But it doesn't really work that way. Real magic has really horrible special effects. It's really kind of sad. But
bring your own sparklers.
Oh yeah, it's really because the whole Wicca witchcraft, it's a spiritual practice. So when we were watching Bewitched, it wasn't a spiritual thing. It was more of a lifestyle, more of that was the species that they were. But the Wiccans and the witches that I know are all human.
Right.
Nice. And they don't morph into cats at the end of your ceremonies.
Yeah, hopefully not. If anybody does, we're going to have a special party because it would be pretty darn awesome.
Right.
There is a lot of magical aspects. Shape-shifting is one. But that's way down the rabbit hole, and I don't know if we want to go that far.
Well, I want to just make a point about what you said, that witchcraft is a practice, not a religion. So you can have any religion and practice witchcraft.
Yeah. Well, and yes. And
except Pentecostalism, I'm guessing they don't.
Well, it's a spiritual practice. So, if you're Wiccan, that actually is your religion.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
That the practice is the religion. The practice is.
But I know people who are Christian who still, practice metaphysics, who are still, identify with a worldview that allows for magic and a worldview that allows for the magic and the mystery.
I've always heard Catholics make the best witches.
Oh my goodness, and Catholics have the best ritual ever. I mean, they've got it down to a science. But a lot of that, really a lot of the Wicca and a lot of what we have, it was brought forth from that. I mean, the people that started it, Gerald Gardner, in the 30s and 40s, he came out of a Masonic background and also a Christian background. And he channeled a lot of the Wiccan ideas. He brought it in, he developed it. He said he found it in an existing coven. That's been challenged now by research, but that was what he said.
That he found. So what's the significance of that? That he actually founded the coven, or?
Right. Well, the significance is that he thought, he was trying to sell to people, or he was trying to expound that this was an ongoing tradition, that it had been handed down complete through the generations and kept secret by people through the burning times, through the Inquisition, through the 20s, and that he had found people that were still practicing the old religion, old in the little finger parenthesis things in the air.
Right.
And
air quotes.
All those air quotes. Yeah. Air quote. And he brought that, and that's what he believed he was doing. I think that there were there were spiritual people before it, theosophists. There were people that this is nothing new. Mysticism isn't anything new. But Gerald Gardner is the one that really coined Wicca. And you and I had talked earlier today about, you had seen a picture of a coven that was mostly male. And
yeah, remember that, Steve?
We had to see if I could find that picture.
Actually, Steve's going to see if he can't throw up the graphics. Well, of course, I guess I don't have to echo everything you say, Steve, because she can hear you.
That's right.
Steve's laughing right now. Cammie's laughing too, Steve.
It's all good.
Okay, and so I asked Cammie.
Yeah.
Oh, so I asked Cammie. You and I had talked about Steve, that it seemed sexist that there was only women.
Yeah.
Right? But Cammie says that's not true. Go ahead, tell him, Cammie.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to tell you. Okay. So, so originally, Wicca started in England, and it started with a man, Gerald Gardner. And the idea, and across the pond, or in England, when it's still, as it's still practiced, the divine power comes from the goddess, or comes from the ether and deity into the man, into the priest, and then from the priest into the priestess. So she gets her authority and her power through the priest.
I see.
Here, yeah. So here, and there are men and women in circle. Here in the United States, the feminist movement really grabbed on to Wicca. And we had Starhawk, we had Z Budapest. It was, the 70s feminism, women, that cook it up and fry it up in the pan, and I can do anything I want. I don't need a man. I've got batteries. That whole thing. And now that I can actually own my own property and have my own credit rating, I really don't need a man.
Yeah, because I can now fund all my batteries instead of asking for the money.
Yeah, that's it. So I'm set. Yeah, and I don't have to worry. Nobody's going to wonder why the lights are dimming, because we all know. But the feminists really grabbed a hold of Wicca, and they, the idea that God had a female face, and the idea of goddess, and the idea that the same power and the same spirituality and the same authority that had been given to this masculine deity could now, that the feminine was there. And so they just really took it, and that's when you start getting like the all-female circles, and they totally got rid of the priest for a long time. They're like, we don't need it. We got a high priestess. She does everything. Fortunately, Wicca and a lot of the pagan religions are coming back to the idea of a duality, of having male and female, god and goddess, and there's more of an honoring of all humans and all genders, not just women or not just men. So everybody is powerful, and it's even starting to expand to transgender and different people who identify different sexually. That everybody is welcome, and everybody is divine, and everybody is of that divine spark.
So
that's really
what does it take?
Is.
How did you get into how did you get started on your search? We laughed about Googling it. But you can basically Google it, right? What would you recommend the steps that people go to, or just tell us more? I'd rather hear your story, actually.
Yeah.
How did you get into all that?
I met Will.
Right.
No, you want the long version. Okay. Usually, yeah, very often in the community, the story is that the woman got interested and then she drug her man along. Right. And Will and I are very unusual in the standpoint that he was already Wiccan. He was already, he grew up in a metaphysical household, in a multicultural household. And so he was already doing this. So before I was even thinking about anything metaphysical, I was walking around in the world next to a person that had a giant pentagram on their chest on the end of a chain. And so I was never in. I never got to hide in a broom closet. I was always out.
She came out of the broom closet.
So,
little psychic joke.
I never got to visit. I didn't even get to visit the broom closet. What are we talking about? Yeah. So, and I was very fortunate in a lot of ways, because I had, I visited the local metaphysical stores, and that's a good place to start. And there's almost every large city has them, so they're findable. You can also find them online. And I, in the Denver area, I had went to a couple of the local metaphysical stores, and in that process, I had met a woman named Judith Brownlee, and Lady Judith. And in the Denver community, Lady Judith was a formidable founding person. She was somebody that we didn't mess with.
God bless her soul. She passed.
Yeah, she
passed.
But she.
How long was she in the business? 30 years, I thought, was what she told me.
Oh, yeah. She
as a
read,
practicing psychic.
And I think it was like 30, 35 years, something like that. And that was my gateway drug. My gateway drug was tarot. I wanted to learn tarot from Judith. I met Judith. I thought that she was an amazing person. I loved her sense of humor. I loved her sense of wonder. And she was teaching a tarot class, and I signed up. And I very meekly and mildly told Will, I was like, I'm signing up. I'm going to take a tarot class, thinking he was going to just say, oh, you're silly and foolish, and that's the typical response that you expect from people. And his response was, oh, that's great. I've got a deck. You want to borrow it?
There you go.
Right.
And the road was paved.
And the road is paved.
It was greased then, And from there, I wanted, I got to know Judith, and I wanted to learn more from her. And I took a Wicca 101. Well, actually, Will and I both took her Wicca 101 class.
Wicca 101.
And there's several
I love it.
people. Yeah. And there's several people in town that offer 101s. Will and I have taught a practices and perspectives, and I do some one-on-one teaching, but I haven't really taken on a full class.
Okay, so this is a good time, Cammie. Let me just tell people where they can get hold of you. Okay, so that's Cammie Lichtenberg. Cammie, you can call Cammie directly at 303-949-1194. That number is 303-949-1194. 1194, or you can go to firebright.net or email her at firebrightwellness@gmail.com. Your office is at 2275 South Broadway, and you're there 3-4 days a week? You're there Sunday? How often are you there?
Wednesday. Well, I'm there Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday very regularly. I've been there more regular on Thursdays.
Right, and of course, always by appointment. I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm willing to come and meet people, and we can work out something where we can. I either do readings or I do mentoring, one-on-one teaching, Reiki healings. Come on down and see me.
Absolutely. Okay, Cammie. Well, I know, right? All right. Well, we'll check you on the other side of the break. You're listening to Best Denver Psychic. We're talking to Cammie Lichtenberg, and we'll be right back.
another bonfire.
When is the best time to talk to your family about staying in touch during a disaster? When floodwaters reach your door? When wildfires are engulfing the edge of your neighborhood? Or an earthquake is destroying buildings? Or is the best time perhaps today? During a disaster, you may not be able to stay in touch with your family or friends as easily as you think. Go to readycolorado.com and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by the Colorado Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Management, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
Found us by accident, but are afraid you won't find us again? No worries. Check this out. If you have the TuneIn app, go to your profiles page, check out custom URL, and type in mms://radio.freezablock.com:5280. And if that doesn't work, try this one. http://radio.freezablock.com:5280/. Both URLs should get you to the same place. Thank you for jumping through all the hoops just to listen to our station. It's about free speech. It's our right. It's all right. The Freezer Block Network. Thank you for listening.
All right, welcome to the Freezer Block Radio Network. You're listening to Best Denver Psychic. I'm your host Gina, and my co-host here, Steve Valverde, and on the phone is Cammie Lichtenberg. Cammie, how's it going?
Oh, we're hanging in there.
Oh, good. Right. Sorry, yeah.
Sorry about the Freebird break there.
Oh man, dude, thank you. I feel quite refreshed.
Oh, good. There's nothing like a fresh witch.
Yes, It's much better. We prefer them that way.
Oh, nice. Just like we prefer our children in our cauldron, nice and fresh.
You have to be careful with that, though. People take you seriously. You can't joke about that. We do not eat children.
Children not served here.
We do not eat children.
Let's talk a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about the lore and the stuff that goes into that feeds into these so-called into the stereotypes, and how you have to probably deal with that on perhaps a day-to-day basis.
And we're rolling, Cammie. If you're not watching it, if you're not able to watch us simultaneously, we're rolling salacious photos that are theatrical and ridiculous, but interesting nonetheless. If you're watching the show,
yes. Well, salacious are bad, but it's very often, especially the people who participate in the rituals that I've been in. We're average people. Wiccans are lawyers and doctors and nurses and engineers and teachers, and although the teachers don't talk about it much, and shop owners, and there's nothing unusual. There's we don't have warts, well, any more than anyone else has them, and we don't run around having sex with just anybody we can find, more than anybody does. It doesn't really have anything.
I know Steve's overqualified.
With the religion, yeah, I know. Well, the whole idea of dancing naked in the moonlight, I have done that. I have done that ritual. But it was part of the spiritual practice. There was nothing sexual.
I'm so glad to hear that, because that's why I'm scared to be a witch.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no.
Nakedness is not my best.
Mythology, yeah. There's mythology that says that there is the great rite in Wicca, but that is mostly symbolic, and it's not about people actually having sex. It's about the god and the goddess having sex, and then we get spring, yay! But you see, people think that you always wear black. They think that you kill animals, that you drink blood, that you you kill children, that you're doing satanic ritual, and it all sounds amazing and wonderfully cool and scary. The truth of the matter is that there aren't Satanists, and Satan is not part of what we do. It's important for me to make sure people hear that. Satan is a Christian deity, and he is part of the Christian pantheon, and therefore is not part of the Wiccan practice, and is not. It's not part of it.
Wow, way to slam it to Satanists, calling them Christians. That's good. They're just misguided Christians. No, but I totally get what you're saying. And so pagans don't.
Yeah, well, and I've known excommunicated. I know people that have been excommunicated from the Church of Satan.
Wow, what do you have to do to get excommunicated from the Satanic Church? I wonder. What did they, without mentioning?
Exactly the same things you do to get excommunicated Christian Church. It's the asking questions, and it's the not obeying, and it's the constant.
The heresy. Oh, hold on, Cammie, you're breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, you're starting to cut out a little bit here and there. So. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
That's all right.
That must be the Christians. No,
right. It's the Christian wing of the NSA.
Right. Is the Pope still in town? He's probably doing that.
Yeah, but I have worked with the Christian pantheon. I've worked in a coven that also worked with the Christian deities. So I'm not wanting to slam anybody, because I have a great respect for.
Oh yeah, well, and I was only I was funning you. I know you weren't really slamming everyone.
All the religions, yeah.
And we were talking a little bit about that earlier, about religion and organized religion, spirituality, and how a lot of times it should just be something. At least that's how I feel, is that it's something that should just be personal between you and whoever you're going to be worshiping.
Yes.
There's not really a whole lot of going out and trying to recruit anybody for Wicca. It's a totally voluntary type of thing, I would guess.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
There's no proselytizing. There isn't an endeavor to go out and convert people. In fact, Wicca is, and most of the pagans I know are rugged individualists, and they're out looking for their personal connection with deity, and that's part of it. It's between you and God, goddess, the gods, whatever, however you relate to that. And in Wicca, it's the goddess. And there's, the god is part of it, that, the goddess is primary. Still, that comes from being an American.
Right.
It's finding, but it's finding that one-on-one relationship, and it's building a relationship, and you are self-responsible. There is no hell. If you do something that isn't appropriate, or you do something that isn't upright or right acting or wise, the consequences are here and now. The idea of threefold return, that what you put out into the universe comes back to you 3 times. And, the do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So if you do something that is hurtful or harmful, then you pay that price here on this plane.
So what is an example of something that you would just like and avoid ever? I don't want to get any bad juju.
Ever doing?
Yeah. Well, because sometimes I get really, really angry. And for just a little minute there, I try to focus my energy on bitch slapping someone psychically. Do you think that's wrong?
Yeah.
Am I in trouble for doing? Should I stop doing that?
Psychic bitch slap.
Psychic bitch slap.
The thing is, if you psychic bitch slap someone, okay, then you are telling the universe it's okay for it to psychically bitch slap you.
I almost don't. I mean, it's almost a fair trade sometimes. Seriously, but I've done.
And that's part of. Yeah, that's part of this, though, is you decide, what is, is it worth it? There's a mythology. There's a fiction book called Llama Tonight, but it's based on a mythology that goes through the community about a group of witches who did work against Hitler. A group of English witches who did work against Hitler to keep him out of England. And in the story, they all die, but they choose that it's the greater good, and they will accept the consequences of doing this work.
So, and you're a Reiki master too, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So if I'm not actually
that's Japanese.
Right. If I'm actually not doing, I just wanted to set up your authority on this question that I'm about to ask you. If I don't do a Wiccan ritual on it, and I just send my own personal energy, am I still going to get the same backlash, or is it different?
I have noticed that there are consequences. I have, even using Reiki, there's still the precept or the concept of free will and asking permission. So if it's really that you don't do things to people that you wouldn't want them to do to you.
Why are you telling me that? So I can't, is like just hating on someone.
So I'm thinking maybe,
I'm trying to make it okay.
Bottles of wine so you can buy me bottles of wine.
There you go.
But it really is that if you wouldn't want someone doing it to you, then why on earth are you doing it to them?
I know, just because I'm.
I mean, seriously.
Because I'm angry and low vibrating.
And anger.
At least you have an answer.
And that's part of all the spiritual practices is, because anger is simply energy, and it's what you do with it. So if you're angry, channel your energy towards something constructive, not something destructive.
Like what can I do to what can I actually do to myself when I'm angry? Like, can I put my hands on myself? Or I've never been Reiki attuned.
Yeah. Well, when you're angry, the things, one of the common precepts is or ideas is that it's bad, and anger isn't bad. You're angry for a reason. And the idea is to take self-responsibility for that anger. Why are you angry? How are you contributing to the anger? There isn't, there's the whole count to 10 and all that. They've told you that. You know that.
I never mastered that when I'm like 1, 2, boosh.
There's also cleaning. There's also cleaning your weapon and going to the range.
Well, that's what I.
Because you're not hurting anyone.
Right.
You can clean the house.
Right.
A lot of people, when they're angry,
that is what I do. Yeah, I do clean the house.
And so you're channeling that energy to a constructive end, and the idea that other people make you angry, the idea that the devil made me do it, that someone else, I responded because they did that. No, you responded that way because you thought that was what you needed to do.
So on that note, let's talk a little bit about your Reiki, about just explain to us what Reiki is. I don't know if I think you weren't with us, Cammie, right? When I was talking about my electromagnetic, my EMF detector. Right?
Oh, those are fun.
My Ghostbusters little thing here. And so is Reiki the same? One of those. Does he? Oh, it's very cool. I'm loving playing with it.
Yeah.
So tell us about Reiki, and is Reiki energy electric? I know it's a Japanese practice, but just tell us about that.
Yeah. Well, it's based in the electromagnetic field that the human body creates. So. And we're getting to a point where we're getting more and more tools and machines and pieces of equipment that can measure it. And we're getting to where we can actually measure the human electromagnetic field. And that's what Reiki works off of. Everything has an electromagnetic field around it. And the universe, provides that energy. Energy is abundant it's endless in the universe. And you can channel that energy into your body, and then through your body and out your hands, and provide it for healing use for someone else. Reiki practitioners are channels; they're funnels. It's not their energy. They're not providing their energy. It's universal energy. And the hardest part about being a Reiki professional is getting out of the way and not having an opinion about, gosh, we need to go work here. No, it's, opening yourself up and letting the energy flow and letting deity or the divine influence know what's best for this person. And your client's higher self is the one that decides how the energy is going to be used, not the practitioner.
And did that help your witchcraft practice?
It really did. I have to say though that a lot of people in circle and a lot of Wiccans are uncomfortable with Reiki energy.
Why is that?
It's a little bit more. It's a little more focused, and it's a little bit higher frequency. And I don't mean to make that sound like it's better. It goes up and down faster, so it's a little spiky. It's a little disruptive, and a lot of groups, they're working on getting this even, calm energy through the whole group. And you've got a Reiki practitioner who's running Reiki, and it kind of disrupts it. So I had to learn in circle. Reiki helped me open up. But I had to learn in circle how to not use Reiki and share my energy and share my soul with the group and be myself in the group.
So does a Reiki attunement, will that teach you that? Is that what a Reiki attunement's for? A Reiki attunement is that's the first session, right? I don't even know what that is. Are we due for a break?
Yeah. Well,
okay, hold on, Cammie. Let us take a break. I want to find out. I want to find out about Reiki. I think that's so interesting about the circle and the energy. So let's keep talking about that on the other side of the break. We'll be right back. This is Best Denver Psychic, your host, and Gina, and we will be back after this message.
And music.
And music. Freeze a Block Radio Network.
Well, I didn't know that you were to use.
A ranger station.
I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
I put out my campfire and Smokey Bear hugged me.
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's just letting you know you did good.
Bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update.
I'm gonna let you go now. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
Welcome back to Best Denver Psychic. We're here with Cami Lichtenberg. And Cami, we were talking about Reiki, and you were explaining to us the energetic process. And I just happen to know what little I know about Reiki. Is that the first session is an attunement? Is that correct?
Well, in the traditional form of Reiki that I participate in, the first, if you're looking for an attunement, if you're going through initiation, there's 3 levels, and the first level actually consists of 4 initiations. They can be done one right after the other. I actually prefer doing them, but I like breaking them apart a little bit. The fastest I've ever done it is 3 in one day, and then the 4th one on the next day.
And what exactly does that so it's a long process.
Yeah. Well, what it does is it sets the symbols, the Reiki symbols that were channeled or given to Sensei Asui, who is the founder of Reiki. And those symbols are set in your energetic body, in your aura, and activated.
By the Reiki master, yes?
By the Reiki master.
And this is all done energetically? There's no verbal, or is there, do you see the symbols, or this is all happens energetically?
No. it all happens energetically. The level one, with the traditional Reiki, the level one, the person who's learning it doesn't learn the symbols on level one. So the first degree initiation is getting the energy set, opening up the channel, being able to move the energy. The focus is mostly on self-healing. So you spend a lot of time, healing yourself and then practicing Reiki. Reikiing your car, reikiing your bed, reikiing your food,
reikiing your dog. That's right.
Reikiing your computer, and just, because the Reiki itself, the process of opening yourself up to that energy, educates you on how it works for you. The different sensations you get when you move energy, everybody has a different reaction to it. Some people feel hot, some people feel cold, some people feel pulling, some people have pushing. It's different with every person. And there's no right and wrong. It's what is happening for you. And that's why I like to take a little more time with the initiations and spread them out so that I can work with the student so they understand, and start getting that dialogue with the Reiki energy. And then the Reiki masters, who are disembodied people, the people that brought Reiki to us and have since passed, they will show up and help teach as well. So that's the first level, and it sets the symbols, and the last initiation of the 4 in the first level actually seals the Reiki. So once you have it, it can't be taken away. It can't dissipate. You can't just, if you don't use it for 3 years and you say, I want to do Reiki on this ceramic pot, you can. It's there for you. It's there for you for the rest of your life.
Have you ever met someone that you would, go ahead, the thing you love?
The thing I love about Reiki is that it seals you so that you don't get backwash from whatever the client or from whoever you're working on. And they don't get any of your issues. So when I was going through, I'm a breast cancer survivor. Yay, breast cancer awareness month. Yay! Yay, hair! Yay!
Indeed.
When I was going through chemotherapy, I could still give Reiki treatments, and it did not diminish the energy. It did not muddy the energy. I wasn't passing any of my icky chemo stuff on to my clients because of that sealing. And I like to use Reiki with strangers because I can have that energetic exchange and not know anything about them. Other energy modalities require that you open yourself up. Either you give them your energy or you take their energy and do something with it. And I prefer knowing people a little bit better before I do that. It's sort of like, I'd like to date you a few times before I let you put your tongue in my mouth.
Right. That's about it's a very intimate process.
So Reiki is nice. It's a handshake. Hi, nice to meet you.
Right. It's a nice handshake.
Yeah, and it allows you in the level 1, you can work on people when you're done with that. Then the level 2 is distance healing, and that's when you start learning the symbols. And then level 3 is the master's level, and that's the level where you can then attune other people and initiate other people and teach them.
Have you ever met anybody that wanted to get Reiki or get attuned or start doing Reiki and you wouldn't teach them?
No, but I did meet someone once that I made them ask me 3 times because culturally, because Reiki is Japanese, and this person had strong South American shamanic energy. And I'm like, are you sure that this Japanese thing is what you're looking for? And we went through several classes and we worked with energy and we talked about it. And he said yes, that it was what he wanted. He liked the idea of being able to use it with strangers. The reason I liked it. So I went ahead. I gave him his level 1 and his level 2.
But nobody that was just like a funky weirdo. Right? You know the type, though.
Yeah,
we get them.
yeah.
I imagine.
I gotta tell you, yeah. And then one of the things about Reiki, okay, is early on, Mr. Asui or Sensei Asui, he noticed that he was working on the poor, and he would go into the poor portion of, I can't remember the name of the town, my apologies, and he would heal people. And they would go off and do the same stupid things and come back, and he'd heal them again for exactly what he healed them a week ago, sort of like confession. And he realized that they weren't, he realized that they weren't valuing what he was doing, and they weren't making the changes in their lives. They weren't healing their lives. They weren't growing. They were just using it as a crutch. So he decided that from then on, there needed to be a compensation for Reiki. And so it's part and parcel of Reiki that there's a charge. There's a financial impact. Now,
absolutely.
In the old days, it was. I'm sorry, I keep smacking my lips. I apologize.
No.
I think it's
we can't hear that. You're good.
Woohoo! Okay, it was like $1,000 for a first degree, and $5 or something for second, and then $10,000 for a third degree. My rates are $150, $250, and $350. So,
thank you, Cammie.
It's a lot more affordable than it used to be, because most of the people that are doing it really believe that we need a lot of healers on the planet right now.
Mm-hmm. When is the best time to talk to you?
And there aren't many people who can devote like years, like quit work and come and study for 2 years so that they can learn all the ins and outs and pay $10,000 to do this. So it's been modified, but very often the people that are not really serious and they're not really willing to work and willing to grow, because Reiki changes you. Any magical practice changes you. Any energetic practice changes you. It's once you ring the bell, you can't unring it.
Now, as far as your Reiki energy, and it's for you, because I'm assuming as a witch, it was okay to call you that. Yes, you identify as a witch. Okay.
Yeah, you can call me a witch. Yeah.
Sweet witchy woman. That's what.
And you can call me she too. Yeah.
Oh, nice. So have you found that Reiki, like in your personal kind of a hedgery, where you're a solitary practitionerism, that the Reiki really does help your witchcraft, I would think?
It gives me, it was the basis for learning how to shield. It was the basis for learning how to take care of myself, and it opened the doors. I don't use Reiki when I do magic.
Okay. And are you in a coven currently? Are you covened, or are you uncovened?
I'm not currently.
She's uncovened.
I am currently what is called a solitaire.
You're discovenant.
Or a solitary. Yeah. So
why is that?
I've worked with 3 covens. Covens are very familial. You know, you get very close to the people in it. The first coven that I was with, we had a divorce, and it broke the coven apart because who do you side with? Because
somebody always gets the witches.
Sister. Yeah,
we've got to split up the witches.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
who's going to practice with who?
It's kind of amazing to me that something like that would actually become, I guess, an issue within a small group. And I guess in some ways it seems like it's normal, and then in some ways it seems like when you're dealing with, I guess, a coven and some things that I guess we're kind of unfamiliar with, that would even be a factor, but it is. So, and I guess that just goes with personalities.
Well, and it's an intimate relationship, and there are groups. There aren't as many super covens as there used to be.
A super coven being
explain that for us.
Judith ran a super coven. It was Fortress Temple, and it had an inner and an outer circle, And the outer circle was more like attending church. These were people that didn't participate in the actual ritual. They came, they stood in circle, and they watched. It was like a congregation. And then the inner circle did the magical work, performed the ritual.
And it's literal circles.
Most of the groups
it's a literal circle.
Yeah. And most of the groups that you find around town now are more like the inner circle would be. Everybody participates. There aren't any spectators. You're part of the group. Your energy is important. It's incomplete without you. People notice when you're missing, and everybody is responsible for the health of the group and the success of the group. There are some groups in town that work a little bit more congregationally. There's some, the ADF, the Druids, some of the groves in town, they're a little bit more like a church, to where you can go and attend, but you don't necessarily have to be a responsible part of the group. And so you can pick your level of participation.
And when you say groves, when you say the Druid groves, and then you mentioned a tent, you're actually going into a grove of trees, yes?
No.
Oh.
It's called, the Druid Grove is actually, the grove is what they call their group. So
okay. I see. Instead of a groove, it's a grove.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. We learned some shit out here.
Now, can I ask real quick before we go to another break? We talk about a lot about shamanic rituals and rituals involving things like, let's say, chemicals. Ayahuasca, psychedelics, to be frank about it. Anything like that involved in what you guys do or not? I mean, go into that a little bit, if you would.
I have never been involved in a group that was part of the ritual. The rituals that I've read that were written by the elders or by people that have been doing it for a long time about the most powerful thing you run across is alcohol. Mm-hmm. And that's even not as common because we have so many people that have substance abuse issues.
Right.
So, very often you don't find it at all. And, this isn't about being irresponsible and out of your body. This is about being present and having a relationship with deity. So the idea of the psychedelic would pull you away from that.
Would you recommend people that are just beginning that they look for a super coven? And was Judith, nobody's trying to start a super coven? I would think that's a huge vacuum that was filled when Judith passed. God bless her soul.
Yeah, and they're really, the super coven I think is gone, but I would recommend there are open groups in town. If you're in Denver, if you, let's see if I can remember the email, the address. There's a group called Living Earth, and their website is www.livingearthcolorado.org.
Okay, great. And Cammie, we will we'll repeat that again maybe after the break if you'll remind us.
Okay.
We're talking to Cammie Lichtenberg.
Okay.
You can get a hold of Cammie at 303-949-1194. You can catch her at firebrightwellness.net, and you can email her at firebrightwellness@gmail.com. And we'll be with you right after the break, again with Cammie Lichtenberg here on Freeza Block Radio Network.
Yeah. Clap. 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 Come on. Clap. 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 All for one and one for all. This one's for y'all. The summer's off. Yeah, we also got the winter, spring, and fall. It's the day because you never promised your tomorrow. So with that being said, time to wild out. Get around the town and put that bitch on my account. Sun fall, get it in into the sun's eyes. Got some questions about to leave a nigga tongue-tied. Dumb nice, too much living in this young life. For anything that I haven't liked to get done twice. I make a toast to the present. This world is a trap, and it'll get you if you let it. It's more than a rap. See me aiming for the heavens, and never looking down because the stars is where I'm headed.
So shit that I regretted, I edited. My stress getting sedative, setting the precedence and staying highly accredited. Yeah, I swear all I need is my music and my team got me cruising at high speed with my newest right by me. We just rolling out the Chinese while we focusing. My G, I'm just joking, I'm fine. Please don't you worry, I'm finally where I need to be. Where I need this, where I need to be. Where I need, so come on. Mic check a 1 2 1 2. Let loose when you hear me getting into the groove. First time getting like that was the minute I knew this is what I'm destined to do. It's just me and my crew. Style of music, it isn't just a name that I read. It's the type of standard I set. Keep it true to the death. Yes, it's true that I'm blessed. That's why we truly connect. Every verse of the steps. See me grow from the depths. And now it's out. Lottie-dottie, legally came to party. Never hurting nobody from the down till the mouth. And even after the story goes into the next chapter, feeling like Will Shatner while I'm flying on the Enterprise. Thank you, Lord, that I'm still alive. Work to the rise, put some pictures to the sky and get high, get high, get high. I said, I swear, all I need is my music and my team got me cruising at high speed with my newest right by me. We just rolling out Chinese while we focusing. My G, I'm just joking, I'm fine. Please don't you worry, I'm finally where I need to be. Where I need this, where I need to be. Where I need. So come on, get your hands up, now get your hands up, now get your hands up, now get your hands up, say get your hands up, now get your hands up, This ain't for everybody, this for your body. So baby, get down, light a couple buds up, and have a drink. Ain't nobody ever loved us, so do your thing. And if you came to party, then you better go shorty. Hey, and even if it ain't your birthday, go shorty. Hey. All I need is my music and my team. See me rolling out the Chinese. Now we with my G. Where I need to be.
Dear John, I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is serious, and I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to when you checked on me? I don't want to leave, but remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range today. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Gina. Join me for the Best Denver Psychic Wednesdays at 8 o'clock with my producer, Steve Alverdi, coming to you on the Freezer Block Radio Network.
All right.
All right.
We were just talking about our new commercial spots.
Our new
that we
PSA.
have.
I love them. Our
PSAs
commercial
now,
spots.
Try to sound a little bit more like a radio show.
Nice.
So anyways, we are definitely having a good time. We are talking with
Cammie Lichtenberg. We're back on with Cammie. Right. And Cammie, you were going to give us some information on how, if someone were interested in pursuing of this matter more, or maybe just, I don't know, talking to some people that were a part of a coven. What's a local resource for that?
It's a group called.
Oh wait, sorry, you were muted.
So
hang on.
You'll have to start all over again. My bad. That was
sorry,
my bad.
sorry. Technical difficulties.
Somebody finally got me to be quiet. How'd you do that?
All right, go ahead and start on over with that.
Okay, so we have it's an organization in the Denver metro area called Living Earth, and they have a website. They have a web presence, www.livingearthcolorado.org, and phone number 720-666-8255. 982-0696. One of the things that I recommend about this website and this group is they have a section on their website called Community Directory. And that will take you to a link that has a calendar of open events that people can come to, that are public, that anybody can attend, that are not, secret and quiet. So that's an excellent resource. There's also the Witches Ball in Denver, which is coming up in October. And you can Google that. I don't have the website in front of me. But at midnight at the Witches Ball, they have an open ritual. And I know that this year, at least the last I heard, a pillar of the community was going to be running that ritual, and that's Jackie Weller.
Mm-hmm.
So I would, it's something that I would recommend if people are curious. The Witches Ball is very public. It's not Wiccan. It's Halloween.
And is that a costumed event?
Something.
Would a person feel comfortable?
Yes, they have. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally dress up. They have costume contests.
And
the little
snacks
kids come out in their little. It's so cute. And there's trance drumming and there's readers.
It's a good time.
It's a family-oriented event. As the evening progresses, it gets a little more adult, and then there's the ritual at midnight. So, but you can.
And then after midnight, everybody takes off their clothes
and dances in the circle like that, right?
Everybody,
blah blah blah. Then they move it to Shotgun Willies, and it's a whole different thing.
We all fall asleep. That's
right. Yeah, those are witches over the age of 40, right?
I need a glass of wine and I need to stop. Yeah.
No shamanic drumming after that. Do you ever worry?
Yeah,
do you ever worry about your safety?
I don't. I don't. And especially something like that. They have security and there's people watching.
No, I mean your own personal security.
Just generally being a witch.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been threatened. I've never had anybody. I'm usually, people accept me. I think it's because I'm unusual to begin with, and so they there's not really much of a chance to go, oh my gosh, she surprised me.
But you've never been targeted by the random public or anything.
I've never been targeted. I've never had any negative. Even at, I worked in corporate America for a while, and they knew about me, and I didn't have any problems. But that doesn't mean I don't know people who have.
Right.
Who have had issues. And I know people, the hate crimes and the phone calls and the spray painting or throwing paint on your car or throwing bricks through your window. And a lot of people who are outliers, part of the fringe parts of society. And that covers a whole range of humans.
Okay, so that brings us to these blue moon. That brings us to these blue moon ritual murders in Florida.
Yeah.
Talk about fringe.
Yeah.
Talk about fringe people.
Oy.
And we really, I think we've
about
done a good job on this show too, not giving credit or pointing out situations where things in the media have been accused of being some kind of a witchcraft when obviously it was just some kook.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah,
what.
there was a few weird things. Yeah.
We're not saying that the kook might not have been Wiccan, but just because religion doesn't have anything to do with your mental status. You could be crazy and be an atheist. So
Ted Bundy was a Democrat.
Yeah.
Why not?
There you go. I mean, yeah, and I think Charles Manson paid taxes. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's about who the person is, not about their religion. The Blue Moon murders in Pensacola were very, very sad and very, very frightening. And the wave that went through the Wiccan community when national news outlets were saying, people were killed by Wiccans. Oh my goodness. Oh my goddess. Because the whole basis for the Wiccan religion is respect for life, is honoring, the earth, honoring nature. There's a lot of vegans, this whole
right.
idea.
They're not eating baby flesh.
Yeah,
they're vegans, people.
They're not even, they're not even eating cows, okay? They don't want cows to be killed, let alone a human, you know? I personally am not vegan, but I would still rather not see
We're not going to hold that
killed,
against you.
You know?
And it won't affect your Reiki,
yeah,
apparently.
Thank you. Yes, I like my meat. But, it's not, you know, somebody's mental status. Their religion is not part of that, and it shouldn't be part of the evaluation of who they are. And, you know, people don't say, you know, oh, well, they did it because they're Catholic, so obviously they would, you know, do this or do that.
Well,
you know,
and I hope
really
our listeners go to the blog on the Huffington Post by Courtney Weber, I think. It's entitled "Stop Accusing Wiccans of Ritual Murder," and I thought it was wonderfully presented. She did a great job in this blog. If you haven't read it, it's very much an apologetic kind of a response to, and by apologetic I mean like, you know, educationally instructive.
Well, and we're going through that right now. I mean, the world is going through a change where we are not accepting marginalizing people anymore. We're not, you know, that's not okay.
Speaking of world changes, anything kooky happened to you during the blood moon?
Yeah, the blood moon was huge.
Yeah, what's happening to you now?
Well, it was part of that shift, that rise in frequency for the whole planet. And the blood moon, you know, that was coined rather recently. And as most people pointed out, it was more like a Broncos orange moon.
Right, for like an hour. But you know, we got to call it something. We'll just jump on the bandwagon.
I did see an amazing photograph of the moon over Israel, and it looked bloody. It looked like blood, and it looked like a pregnant stomach. And I think that it's heralding in. There's all kinds of websites that are talking about data, and blogs that are talking about end of times. But it really is a reset for the world, and it's an opportunity for all of us to become more human and more humane.
I got a quick. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I have a quick question. You know, this is kind of a weird scenario. That's something that happened to me during the blood moon. You know, I was like most of the people, I was watching the NFL football game, and I was grilling at the time. You know, I had some. Now this is kind of funny.
No, I love it.
I had 4, you know, burgers on the grill.
Are you sure you're not Wiccan? You were grilling it. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, it was just happened to be at the right time, and you know, I had let. What's that? I would let everybody know that I was grilling and it was going to be halftime, and I let everybody know, hey, you guys you're going to miss the eclipse. Let's check this out. So we went to check it out, you know, and everything, and I was grilling, and the dog right when it was, I would think the darkest part of the eclipse, the full eclipse part, and the dog had went in and took it upon himself to eat all the burgers while we were taking pictures and not paying attention. Well, I mean, for me, that made me full hot. I was incredibly pissed off, and I was just wondering, and I thought about it. I'm like, I have so much negative energy right now going through me. I'm so mad. I could kill this dog, whatever. I'm just angry. I'm angry at myself for thinking that the dog would just let that stuff sit there. I'm just curious if you have this mental state going on during something like this, a big time celestial event. Can that affect your life? Or have you heard of something like that? Because at that moment, I'm thinking to myself, worried. I am worried because, you know, I don't want to have negative vibrations going on through the rest of my life because of this one incident that brought it out.
But tapping, you know, get all woo-woo on you here. Tapping into your energy, you look just fine. So, you know, I don't think you permanently damaged anything. So you can be safe and feel secure there. Your mental state does affect what's going on, and there was a lot of energy moving at that time. So, you know, you may feel a little out of sorts or kind of clumsy and a little drained over the next few days because you were expending extra energy at the time. But I don't get a sense that you damaged anything or that, you know, you put out evil monkeys that are going to take over your daily house. I think.
Well, it's just.
And Cammie would know.
I'm one to tend to believe in energy and spirituality, energy, I guess, and negative energy, positive energy. And at that time, I was seething with negative energy, and anger and all that.
Well,
and I just thought that, well, gosh, if it's happening, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, one of the things to know is energy is just energy. It's not positive or negative. It just is. And it's what you do with it. Did you grab the dog and shake it and throw it in a closet and say, bad dog?
Don't admit that on the air, Steve.
I really wanted to. Yeah. I really did, but it's not my dog. And so she got away with it because she wasn't my animal.
Yeah. You adapted to the situation, and it was what you did with that energy. You didn't let the energy run you, ride you. You took control of it, and you were an adult, and you handled it.
You're a big boy, Stevie.
That's really the secret.
All right. So, Cammie, I hate to do this to you.
Do with it.
We got to end, friend.
Wait, say that, honey?
We got to end, friend. I'm so sorry. And I think the most important thing you said was there at the end about it's not the energy, it's what you do with it that counts.
There you go.
Yes. And that ties into your tagline.
That's
Miss
right.
Gina.
Oh, which is don't give your power to the tools, because the power is inside you. And tell us how we can get a hold of you, Cammie. Go ahead and give us your information.
He who breaks the law.
I am at firebright.net, www.firebright.net. You can get a hold of me at 303-949-1194. And my email address is firebrightwellness@gmail.com, and I'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. Okay. Hey, Cammie, thanks so much for coming. I can't stand that it's over.
You're welcome, hon.
All right.
Really fast. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, I certainly hope so. I'll catch you. I'll catch you on the flip-flop, sister.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. That was Cammie Lichtenberg, and we'll be right back. We have a quick break, and then we're down to the wire.
Yeah, it's Silver Lady, and then we're on the way out. So hang on right here on Freezer Block Radio Network.
I sometimes see your eyes wandering to me. Oh, as I feel so nice to see and be seen. I sometimes say I'll run away with you one day to test the limits of this sky. Finally answer why. If you could see different eyes, what you care to say to me? Would it really matter? If you could only run and hide, come on, 'cause you never said we're running through your mind. I sometimes think that I'm not complete. Everything you throw at me, it brings me to my knees. I sometimes see your hand wandering to me. Cold as ice, feel so nice, warm, safe and free. I sometimes say I'll give my hand to you one day to test the limits of the sky and finally answer why. If you could see through different eyes, what you care to say to me, would it really matter? If you could only run and hide, from all the ghosts you never said were running through your life.
It's me, your heart. High blood pressure is serious, and if you think I'm just going to keep ticking away, you're wrong. I can quit whenever I want, but I like my job. Just treat me better. Maybe we can do some exercise on occasion. After all, we're in this together.
Don't let your heart quit on you. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
You're tuned in to the Freezer Block Network. You're tuned in to the Freezer Block Network. It's all right. Free speech. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
All right. Welcome back to Best Denver Psychic. I'm your host, Gina, and my co-host, Steve, and we're about out of time.
Almost. We're coming up on
But
it.
we wanted to talk to our investor.
That's right.
No Wednesday is complete without our investment segment.
Indeed.
How you doing, Sean?
Good, how are you?
Still hanging in there with us?
Yeah, that's good. We're still
Sweet.
doing it. That's right.
Yeah. How are we doing, Sean?
Good.
Good. What you got?
Well, my first question is between October 1st to October 8th, what day will SLV sell for the highest price? It's selling between $13.80 to $14.09 the last couple days.
I'm sorry, what I was getting something around the 8th, and then I heard something about the 28th. Did something happen on the 28th? When was the 28th? Friday?
No.
2 days ago.
Okay, I don't know why I was getting an 8, so I'm going to say October 8th.
You think that October 8th, SLV will sell for the highest between tomorrow, October 1st?
Yep, on
October.
for I don't know, 1485.
Really?
Yeah.
It's going to sell that high before it goes down to 13, or like how many points do you think it'll go up?
1.3
in 1 week?
I don't know, dude. You know, you always ask me that, only to find out that I gave you the same response 3 times. So, I mean, yeah, dude, I can only tell you what I get. I mean, I don't necessarily get an explanation for the whole thing. I mean, that's what I feel like. Okay, and so...
so on Thursday, October 8th?
At 12:22.
A repeating number.
Oh, a repeating number. Nice, Steve. Oh,
Yeah.
good for you, bro. Okay, and I only have one more question. Sorry, dude, we saved you. We slipped you in here at the end. What's the other question? What's the low?
And then will SLV go way down the following day, October 9th, after it goes way up?
Okay, I think it's later in the afternoon. Actually, I think it's going to decline twice. I think it's going to decline in the morning, and then it's going to come back up a little bit, maybe around, I don't know, noonish, and then it's going to dip. It's going to dip low, but then it's going to come back up late in the afternoon. I would trade at 347.
Okay.
Okay.
And you really think 1485 for next week?
That's what I heard. I mean, I honestly, Sean, you know, in order to keep it real, I never ever look at this stuff. So
Right.
I know it doesn't seem like much to me at all.
Like, you don't think it'll just go up like 20 cents or 30 cents? You think it'll go up a whole dollar?
I wasn't feeling that. I feel like it was going to go up a whole $1.
Okay.
So there you go, sister. Let us know next week.
Cool.
Keep us posted. How did we do last week? Pretty okay.
Good. And I think you know that $11 something per share for SLV I've been trying to figure out?
Yes.
I figured it out. It's going to be June 27, 2016.
Nice.
SLV will sell for 11 something.
Okay. Anything I can do to help you out, baby.
All right.
You know I'm there.
Okay.
All right, Sean. We'll catch you next week.
Thank you.
Take it easy. All right. So that brings us to the close. Man, I can't even believe it. That's it.
I know. Wow, this was a great show. And wow, Gina, we want to thank our special guests again. Go ahead and pop her,
Cammie
social
Lichtenberg.
media.
Please, Cammie. Call Cammie, text, get a hold of her. She does excellent Reiki work. Great psychic readings. Expert at tarot at Firebright Wellness. firebrightwellness@gmail.com. The website is www.firebright.net. You can call her. Her name is Cammie Lichtenberg at 303-949-1194. Get your reading quick, and be sure and catch Steve's show tomorrow, Thursday at 5 on Mile High Underground. All local music all day, every episode.
Yeah, well, at least tomorrow will be a montage of different stuff, man. We're gonna bring it. We're just gonna bring it. What the hell? I don't have a guest to come in and talk to me, so we're just gonna have lots of music.
Love it. And don't count it out yet.
That's right.
All right. Well, we'll see you back next week. Best Denver Psychic. We'll catch you on the flip flop later.
What's that tagline, Gina?
Hey, don't give the power to the tools, because the power's inside you. And we'll see you next week.
All right, episode 20 next week. We'll catch you next time.
20.
Be here for us. Bye-bye.
I've seen the fire of a woman's scorn turn her heart of gold to steel. I've got the song of the voice inside me set to the rhythm of the wheel. And I've been dreaming like a child since the cradle broke the vow. And there's nothing I can do about it now. Running through the changes, going through the stages, coming round the corners in my life. Leaving doubt and faith, staying out too late, waiting for the moon to say goodnight. And I could cry for the time I've wasted, but that's a waste of time and fear. And I know just what I'd change if I went back in time somehow. But there's nothing I can do about it now.